prior to after, obviously. But now that I understand how difficult he is to deal with, there's no one else like him. You can't prepare for him, even at
his age,
even at an elder version of him.
And shit, it was pretty cool to see. And honestly, even with the majority draw, it's a win for Manny, because damn, if he can do that off a 3-year layoff at 46, that's pretty telling, for one, where the sport of boxing is when your world champ can't beat 46-year-old politician Manny Pacquiao.
Yes, Manny, you can come out of retirement because this guy is so bad. Like, that fired him up a little bit, and then he goes in the ring and he does nothing. He goes in the ring and, like, I thought it was an embarrassing performance from a 30-year-old champion.
Many fighters are still wary of Manny Pacquiao's comeback because, even at 46 years old, he continues to showcase incredible speed and athletic ability. After observing Pacquiao's training sessions and his performance against Mario Barrios, Sean Porter said the boxing icon still appears capable of competing with the very best. Despite his age, Manny's quickness, footwork, and non-stop aggression remain remarkably sharp. Those qualities have convinced many observers that the legendary version of Pacquiao is still alive and that he remains fully capable of challenging, and possibly defeating, the sport's elite.
What do you think about the overall matchup?
Everything, man. I watched him train like last week or the week before, and amazing to see him still move and bounce and do all the same things that he was doing in camp years ago when I was with him. So he's still locked in. He's still him, Crazy, but he is. You know what they say, man. The last thing to go is that power.
Chris Algieri, who faced Manny Pacquiao during the prime of both their careers, believes Pacquiao is still one of the most difficult fighters in boxing to deal with. Algieri says there is something about Manny that simply refuses to fade with age. While most boxers naturally lose speed as they get older, Pacquiao continues to trouble younger opponents through his unpredictable movement, explosive hand speed, and relentless pressure. Algieri described him as one of the hardest fighters to prepare for, explaining that his athletic gifts and natural instincts cannot truly be duplicated in training. In his opinion, Pacquiao's return is much more than an inspiring comeback story. It represents a genuine threat to anyone standing across the ring from him.
Prior to after, obviously. But now that I understand how difficult he is to deal with, there's no one else like him. You can't prepare for him, even at
his age,
even at an elder version of him.
Against Mario Barrios, Manny Pacquiao reminded the boxing world exactly why he is considered one of the greatest fighters in history. At 46 years old, many expected to see a faded champion relying on past accomplishments. Instead, Pacquiao displayed the speed, footwork, crisp combinations, and creative angles that made him a world champion for so many years. Nearly every round remained highly competitive, with his timing, ring intelligence, and conditioning standing out from start to finish. Although Barrios entered the contest as the younger and favored fighter, he often found himself reacting to Pacquiao instead of controlling the pace. By the final bell, it was obvious that Manny was not simply making a return. He was still competing at an elite level.
I think Manny's always been good at that. And my son really pointed it out perfectly. He was still good at it. He was still good at it. I think he was stealing some rounds at the end. Whether he deserved them or he didn't deserve them, whatever. They were close rounds. He might have stole them on the judges' cards. What we shouldn't forget is he's a special guy, and he put a special performance. I never saw calves on the legs of somebody that big. I mean, it's incredible. I thought early on he stumbled a little bit. I thought his legs were stumbling a little bit, like you might see in a 46-year-old. A little bit, but at the end, they got the act together. He used them pretty good. He used them pretty damn good. What I think he also did was maybe a little bit of, I think the word illusion is too powerful, but I'd say a little misleading, where he threw those real fast punches like my son said. They weren't quality punches like they used to be, where there was real impact and real power at the end of them. They were more like just quick punches. And they weren't all being impactful. They weren't all landing clean. Some did, but they weren't all landing clean. And they definitely weren't landing with real power. They really weren't.
Social media star and boxer Salt Papi also shared his thoughts on a possible Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao rematch. In his opinion, Pacquiao's recent performances have shown that he remains active, physically prepared, and completely committed to competing at the highest level. By comparison, Mayweather has spent the last several years participating mainly in exhibition contests instead of facing top professional opponents. Salt Papi believes those differences could make a second meeting very different from their 2015 bout, with Pacquiao's activity, rhythm, and determination giving him a genuine opportunity against an older Mayweather whose reflexes may not be what they once were.
Have you spoken to Manny recently? I know you're friends with him.
No, I haven't spoken to him, no.
What would you want to see him do next?
Fight Floyd Mayweather or Gervonta Tank.
You think he beats Tank, near prime Tank Davis?
We'll see. Styles make fights, so we just don't know.
What about Mayweather versus Pacquiao too?
Yeah, that'll be a good fight. Manny is still active. So.
Okay.
Manny Pacquiao's showing against Mario Barrios reminded fans exactly why he is viewed as a once-in-a-generation talent. Every time Barrios attempted to engage, Pacquiao responded with explosive combinations, overwhelming him through speed, non-stop activity, and relentless movement. His footwork remained outstanding throughout the contest, constantly creating new angles and forcing Barrios onto the defensive. Both fans and analysts were impressed by how youthful Manny still appeared, with many believing his aggression, punch volume, and command of the ring deserved even greater praise. More than simply looking impressive for a 46-year-old, Pacquiao proved he still possesses the skill, energy, and instincts needed to compete against the world's very best.
That's not what happened. Barrios was so tentative in this fight. He was essentially standing there for some of the exchanges. Manny Pacquiao came out and did what Manny Pacquiao does. By the way, credit to Manny. At 46, he still had some feet. He was moving, dancing on Mario Barrios. He was throwing combination punches going forward on Mario Barrios. And when he wasn't doing that, he was countering Mario Barrios, who looked like a stick in the mud. He looked like he couldn't even get out of first gear because Manny was hitting with combinations. Were they hurting super bad? Maybe not. Some of them definitely were. Had a mouse under the eye of Mario Barrios, but others were just flurries, and they were keeping Barrios at bay. And when Barrios was throwing one, Pacquiao was throwing three. When Barrios would throw out his jab, Manny would counter with his lead right hand, stepping on the inside plane, doing all the old Manny shit. It was pretty cool to see. And honestly, even with the majority draw, it's a win for Manny because, damn, if he can do that off a 3-year layoff at 46, that's pretty telling for one, where the sport of boxing is when your world champ can't beat 46-year-old politician Manny Pacquiao. But two, just how great he was. 8-division world champion, started his career at 106, I think, comes up to 147. What are we talking about?
Some critics have questioned Manny Pacquiao's decision to return to boxing, suggesting that financial incentives could be influencing his comeback. After all, as an 8-division world champion and future Hall of Famer, he has already secured one of the greatest legacies the sport has ever seen. Skeptics argue that he has absolutely nothing left to prove and could have comfortably remained retired, especially considering the physical demands that come with competing at his age. In their view, the risks clearly outweigh the rewards, leading some to believe that only an enormous payday would justify stepping back into the ring.
Manny Pacquiao crazy for coming back and fighting is because they don't understand what's going on in Manny Pacquiao's life. When a fighter is 46 years old, he doesn't just come back to fight a top fighter because he just wants to fight a top fighter. When he's going through that, that's what's brought him to that place in the first place. And that is having what we call bandwidth extension. He's totally scattered his brain and lost so much money over the course of time. And the same thing that happens when you get a paycheck and you start spending, and because you get shiny object syndrome, you want to get the new watch, you want to get the new gear, you want to eat at the restaurant, you want to go spend money. That shiny object syndrome, and you can't get it under control the same way that Manny Pacquiao did. He couldn't get things under control. So therein lies the situation where all of that money that he's made, hundreds of millions of dollars, just burnt. And now you got to fight. But if you really stop focusing on the symptom and start concentrating on the root of this thing, and the root of this thing is bandwidth, shiny object syndrome, trying to be so relevant in so many different scenarios. You want to train, you want to run this other business, you want to do this, you got these great ideas.
However, Manny Pacquiao has consistently dismissed the idea that money is the reason behind his return. Throughout his legendary career, He has become known not only as one of boxing's greatest champions, but also as a generous humanitarian who has supported hospitals, disaster relief programs, and countless charitable causes across the Philippines. Pacquiao has repeatedly said that he fights for his people rather than for financial gain. According to Manny, his comeback is driven by passion, legacy, and the desire to inspire others by proving that age should never define greatness. After his impressive performance against Mario Barrios, the focus has now shifted toward the biggest question in boxing. Who will Pacquiao face next?
When I became a world champion, then I realized that this is the time that I can help my family. Before that, we don't have food to eat in one day. We just drink a lot of water to survive. And I remember one time, my young brother is 5 years old back then, and he was crying like in the afternoon, 1:30 in the afternoon. He's crying because he's hungry. He's asking for food. We don't eat breakfast. We don't eat lunch. He don't understand what is. When you're telling him no money, we have no money to buy food, and he's crying like, "Mom, I'm hungry." Like he's crying. And I look to my mom and look at his eyes, and it's the tear flow in his eyes, and then I feel so sad and like. And of course, I'm crying also because hungry. We drink water just to survive. That's our past, so that's why I always told them that, Manny Pacquiao is Manny Pacquiao, but I don't have the right to become arrogant, to become boastful. I want to stay humble because we've been there. We came from nothing.
Rolando Romero has rapidly emerged as one of the leading candidates to become Manny Pacquiao's next opponent, particularly after recent training footage sparked speculation that preparations may already be underway. Romero's team has welcomed the possibility, and Raleigh himself has openly stated that sharing the ring with a legend like Pacquiao would be a tremendous honor. Other names, including Gervonta Davis, have also surfaced in discussions, although promotional complications and scheduling conflicts continue to make that matchup considerably less likely at this stage.
No. Tira los golpes largos, men. Porque si da paso ya te pega mucho. Quédate atrás, men. No te cuidas. Ahí, quédate ahí parado, ahí donde tú estabas.
Boxing Doctor News, Manny Pacquiao's next potential opponent is Raleigh Romero, the WBA welterweight champ. Romero is under the same promotion, has the belt, and can sell a fight. He's eager to face Pacquiao, saying, "A Hall of Famer on my resume. Who wouldn't want that?" After Pacquiao's draw with Barrios, his advisor sees Romero as the favorite for Manny's next bout. Romero has knockout power and isn't afraid to bring the heat. Is this the explosive matchup fans have been waiting for?
Many fans are still calling for another showdown between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, believing Floyd would once again emerge victorious. What is often overlooked, however, is that Mayweather is actually older than Pacquiao and has spent recent years competing only in exhibition fights instead of facing elite professional opposition. A rematch today would look very different from their 2015 encounter, when Pacquiao entered the ring while dealing with a serious shoulder injury. Supporters of Manny believe that a healthy, active, and highly motivated Pacquiao would provide a far tougher challenge this time, making the outcome much less predictable than it was during their first meeting.